Welcome to SVG-TV News from Monday, December 7th, 2015. I'm Lafern Fraser with the details. As the Unity Labour Party ramps up their 2015 election campaign, thousands of supporters and well-wishers gathered at the Argyle International Airport site last evening to witness the landing of another aircraft. This time around, a Liat aircraft with a Vincentian pilot and crew members. We get more on the event in this report from Nikita Tony.
It was a momentous occasion as supporters and well-wishers of the Unity Labour Party watched on as a Liat aircraft circled the skies before landing safely on the runway of the Argyle International Airport. Exiting the aircraft was party leader of the Unity Labour Party, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, accompanied by his wife Eloise Gonsalves, other party members and media personnel. In his welcoming address to the thousands gathered, Chief Executive Officer of the International Airport Development Company, Dr. Rudy Matthias, highlighted work done on the project thus far since the beginning of the outworks in August 2008. Dr. Matthias said that while there is still work to be done, the Argyle International Airport will be operational soon.
As you must have seen, we have advertised several times in the local papers for business persons to enter into contract with us. You must have noticed even this week in all of the 3 local newspapers, we have advertised for over 190 persons whom we are going to be hiring to help with the management of the Argyle International Airport. We are getting ready to roll. Argyle is going to become operational soon.
Standing as the youngest Minister of Parliament in the government of Jamaica, Damian Crawford endorsed the work of the ULP. He said that he is proud to have witnessed the celebration of the country's economic independence.
Economic independence, because when the plane land, this country take off with an international airport. I don't have to the next time stop in Antigua before I reach to St. Vincent. It means that it is opening up an avenue for you to get real employment. So in 79, you take down the Union Jack, and now you're taking down the poverty jack, the jobless jack, the hopeless jack, with the vision of a man like Ralph Gonsalves.
ULP candidate for South Windward, Frederick Stevenson, said that the airport will not only create jobs, but also provide opportunities for farmers of the country to extend their market.
The farmers' produce will be able to get from St. Vincent and the Grenadines to the international destination at a cheaper cost. When the Amerijet lands at E.T. Joshua, it brings in cargo, but it leaves empty. That problem will be solved with the opening and the operationalization of the Argyle International Airport. It is a dream for some people, but it is a reality for many of us who stood out here all afternoon to see the planes land.
Congratulating the crew who conducted the flight, former Deputy Prime Minister and the ULP's candidate for Central Leeward, Sir Louis Straker, said that faith without work is dead. He said that while the progress made by the ULP upsets the NDP, it is good and rewarding for the people of SVG.
Their political fortunes, not the upliftment of our country. Comrades and friends, I am proud and I am happy to be part of this great government. Arnhem Eustace, no matter what they say, they have no intention. They would try their best to condemn this airport in order to make Ralph Gonsalves and the ULP look bad.
Referring to a letter sent to the Eastern Caribbean Civil Aviation Authority by the NDP's leader, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez said that while the NDP may try to hinder the airport's progress, they have and will continue to be unsuccessful.
You had a number of NDP people come out here today, you know. They were spying. They never expect Leah to land, you know. But the chief executive officer wrote them and told them. I don't know if they get the information before the plane land. They told them that the Eastern Caribbean Civil Aviation Authority has approved the airport has been fit and proper and worthy, and there's no safety problem.
The landing of the Liat aircraft at this time, according to Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, is no political gimmick, as he has always shown that his government can and will continue to deliver to the people of SVG.
You have to decide on Wednesday whether you want Ralph to be here to open this airport sometime after Easter next year, or you want Eustace to be here to say you're going to open it beyond 2020.
As many shed tears of joy, others cheered in appreciation as the evening went on with local and regional performances. Reporting for SVG-TV News, I am Nikita Tony.
The New Democratic Party, or the NDP, on Saturday night at the Victoria Park presented their 15 candidates to contest Wednesday's general elections. Under their theme, Time for a Celebration, the NDP team also signed and presented their spiritual, social and redemption charter. SVG-TV's Sharon Garraway tells us more in this report.
The New Democratic Party, NDP, presented their 15 candidates to contest the December 9th general elections to a massive gathering at the Victoria Park on Saturday the 5th of December. Under the theme, Time for a Celebration, the event was punctuated by various performances from a number of local acts.
We looking for progress, we must clean up this mess, you must go out and vote NDP.
Hey, bro. Carry the child by Villa. Them know how to get money out of poor people.
With the same old story, make them know that them just can't fool me.
Looks like time is changing people. Trains waiting in the station.
It's a little thing called faith that makes broken wings fly.
Do them know we don't want we ride.
Where do them? Where do them?
Despite the jubilant atmosphere, the key issues were in focus for the 40-year-old political party. First Vice President Sinclair Leacock spoke of bringing to an end what he termed as the Pied Piper effect.
We will restore dignity and pride to the young women of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. No longer, in order to advance yourselves, you must have to be a rash girl. You must stomp it out. You must get rid of predatory behavior once and for all in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We can be a better country.
While Second Vice President Dr. Godwin Friday highlighted that SVG was under a corrosive force.
It has taken a toll on the economy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In tourism, you have seen the yachting sector decline, stay-over visitors decline.
The NDP team also signed and presented to the audience their spiritual, social and redemption charter to signal their commitment to making St. Vincent and the Grenadines a thriving and peaceful nation.
Develop all areas of the country in keeping with their capabilities, not their party voting patterns. 7. Never bring disrepute on the country and people by deliberate personal actions or activities.
Leader of the NDP, Arnhem Eustace, spoke of his anxiousness to restore the country to prosperity.
Women will take back their power and say a loud no to the compromises many in authority demand of them. Corruption where it is found, whenever and wherever and whomever may practice it, it will be routed. Jobs within the orphan of the private sector is revived and given room to flourish. The exodus from farming will be reversed. Scholarships will be distributed on merit and will not require a visit to the Prime Minister's office. Parents will no longer have to choose between paying for their children's subjects and feeding them, because we will pay for the subjects.
Sharon Garraway, SVG Television News.
Additionally, the leaders of the different components of the NDP team outlined their concerns and expressed their confidence for victory at the polls.
That we want this country to be free from fear. Fear pervades the land. People are fearful to walk the streets at night. They're fearful to speak at their workplace. They're fearful to lose their jobs and been victimized and discriminated. But more so, they're fearful to lose their lives.
Only engage those of us who are very active on the campaign trail, but that the New Democratic Party's message has filtered and reverberated in every village, every town, every community, and the nation. We are on the march to victory. I say victory is at hand.
People throughout the length and breadth of St. Vincent and the Grenadines will go to the polls and they will say in no uncertain terms to Ralph Gonsalves and the Unity Labour Party, you are fired. The youth of St. Vincent and the Grenadines want better, and we deserve better.
In an effort to investigate what has been described as fraudulent documents, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has ordered 3 of the top legal brass in this country to open a comprehensive investigation into the matter. In a statement yesterday after the document began circulating on the internet, Dr. Gonsalves denied holding any such account and says the account does not exist. The statement further noted that such a falsehood goes against good governance and a monumental lie, which indicates the extent to which opponents of the ULP and Dr. Gonsalves will go to gain political power. Attorney General Judith Jones Morgan has been instructed to contact the government of the United States of America under the Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty to look into what has been termed as a fraudulent bank document with an alleged bank account which is domiciled to an address in Brooklyn, USA. While Commissioner of Police Michael Charles has been ordered to locally open a criminal investigation into the fraudulent document, it will also include regional or international operatives working in this country. The statement said that Commissioner Charles was also instructed to contact the International Police Criminal Organization, or Interpol, as well as the Joint Regional Intelligence Fusion Center of Impacts to do with the investigation, and that the Director of Public Prosecution, the DPP Colin Williams, has also been alerted to the investigation. The press statement further highlighted that it is illegal under French, American, Swiss, European Union and Vincentian law to fabricate documents and make slanderous and untrue allegations against individuals. It is blissful to be alive, but to be young is heavenly. That's the view of ULP leader Dr. Ralph Gonsalves as he switched seats last Saturday evening as the ULP hosted their youth rally on the Cumberland Sporting Facility. The evening, which showcased local models, dancers, singers, and creative designs using labor gear, was dedicated to the young people as the party attempted to prove to be focused on the development and enhancement of the nation's youth. In his address, ULP candidate for East St. George, Camilo Gonsalves, accused the NDP of having never given concern for the young people and their aspirations. He further noted that in his opinion, the NDP is just a group of grumpy old men who want to hold back education from the youths of SVG.
This last year, 1,800 11-year-olds sat the CPEA. 1,800 11-year-olds took that exam. If we were still under the New Democratic Party, only 700 out of that whole 1,800 would have gone to secondary school. The other 1,100 would have to suck salt and find a way. And they would have end up on the block with nothing to do. And they would have end up pregnant, looking for somebody to mind a child. And some of them would try to migrate, but they would have migrated with no skills and found themselves on the bottom rung of the ladder in another country. But under the Unity Labour Party, 1,800 out of 1,800 went to secondary school.
and promising his dedication to the people of North Leeward to further strive for development and better representation. ULP candidate for the constituency, Carlos James, told the youths that the ULP is the best government to serve them and that their futures would be safe in the party's hands. Noting the progress of the country under the ULP, James said that the young people are inspired and are excelling.
Not a lot of people want to go into an office and work or to become doctors and lawyers. But there are persons who are interested in mechanical work, carpentry and masonry, arc welding. We have to provide the training for you. Because with these type of training, comrades, you are going to get jobs. We have estimated over the next political term, over the next 5 years, over 9,000 jobs are coming to St. Vincent, a lot of them in North Leeward and Central Leeward. The NDP boasts, and they say that if they form government, they are going to provide 3,000 jobs for you. But when you do the math, 9,000 jobs in 5 years from a ULP government, and we're not just saying we're going to provide jobs, we're showing you how the jobs are coming. Because right across in Peters Hope in Mount Twin, we have a major tourism facility. A major investment is coming for tourism here, and a lot of you young persons in Spring Village, in Coastville, in Rosal, Chumaka, Rosebank, even up to Fitzhughes, you are going to benefit tremendously from that project.
And the New Democratic Party held a day of prayer on Sunday at the Diamond Deliverance Church grounds. Prayers for the country, election peace for all persons participating in the process, as well as deliverance from evil forces were evoked at the event. While delivering his prayer for the nation, Samuel Young, the apostle of the Triumph Covenant Ministries, delivered what he called a word from God which prophesied a landslide victory for the New Democratic Party.
Vision, the Lord said to me, I am the head of Christ wherever I go. His eyes, his ears, his mouth, and discernment. To the end of that dream, if God didn't say to me, I would not speak it. 12:3. 12:3. These are the three. These are the three. It will take a strong hand for the Prime Minister to lose his seat, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. It will also take a strong hand for the seat that Beach won to be won. It will take a strong hand. It will also take a strong hand for the Maraco seat to come home. But the Lord said 12:3. So happy that you give me the opportunity to say, I confirm it.
Here's a highlight of some of the worship session on Sunday.
We want to thank you for protecting our country so far from any violence during this election campaign. We are coming down to the end. It's only a few days to go, but we know that because of the peace that exists, the enemy doesn't like it.
Oh Father, oh God, we come to you this day, oh God, and we ask you to release a blessing on St. Vincent and the Grenadines, home of the blessed Hyruna. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah!
The Democratic Republican Party candidate for East St. George, Calvert Batiste, says that it is time for the government to join with the people of SVG to deal with the social issues that affect young girls, boys, and communities on a whole. Speaking at a recent party meeting in Glen, Batiste is encouraging Vincentians to throw their support behind the DRP, which he says is the only party with a heart and is prepared to raise the age of consent, as well as to tackle issues of abuse, violence, and representation in SVG.
The DRP has pledged that we will raise the age of consent from 15 years, where our young girls right now can give consent to sexual activities at the tender age of 15, and they are becoming statistics of sexual and domestic violence You all know, and I as well know, the problems that we face in our communities right here in Glen. Just recently, sad to say, I really don't want to bring back too much memories, but we had a murder as recent as a month or 2 months ago right here in Glen. We need our people to come back to being loving and caring again. Down with the guns and the knives and the cutlasses.
That's the point, that's the point. Yeah.
And I truly care for my people in Glen, because it seems as if with the two major political parties, nothing good can come out of Glen. But I am here to tell you something good has come out of Glen, and I am here to do something for my people.
Additionally, the DRP leader, Anissa Batiste, announced plans, if voted into office, to develop the sports sector by increasing diplomatic relations with Russia, an international superpower in the field of sports.
Foreign relations with the country of Russia, and we will speak to the leadership in Russia and encourage them to help us in the area of developing our sporting facilities so that the children can train properly and they can train to the point where they can go into the Olympics and compete and win medals and win money like the Jamaican athletes did just this year. As a matter of fact, Usain Bolt and Shelly Fraser-Price, two Jamaican athletes in the IAAF Games this year, they were named the most valuable athletes in the whole Games. So you see, there is great opportunity for all the French athletes as well, but you have to be under a government that understands the importance of sports and how it can benefit the people. And we in the DRP understand it. And that's the number one reason we're giving you here tonight, why you should put your X next to the heart for Calvert Batiste for the DRP in the East St. George constituency, because we will help this country and our athletes to make money from sports development.
In more from election heat, issues of the rights and requirements for a qualified voter, what can be considered as election offenses, and other matters relating to the Representation of the People's Act were discussed on this Sunday's edition of Hits Talk. Speaking on the matter of requirements of a qualified voter, lawyer Zita Barnwell stated that the People's Representation Act clearly points out the requirements for an eligible voter, such as one residing in St. Vincent for at least 12 months and must be of at least 18 years old. Barnwell also made it clear that persons who reside outside of St. Vincent and the Grenadines exceeding 5 years are not qualified to vote.
If you're living abroad, that is what it says, for more than 5 years or 5 years exceeding 5 years, you really should not be coming to St. Vincent to vote. You should not be on the voters registration list at all. It doesn't say that you have to be living out of St. Vincent for continuous period at all. That word is not there. It is a word which I was told recently, well, imported, and I had to put it to the deputy supervisor. Actually said to him, but that word is not there in the act to say that the person must be living for a continuous period. In my mind, what that is saying, even if you're coming to St. Vincent the Grenadines on holiday, you do not reside here. You should not be on the voters list. You live abroad, Canada, UK, Toronto, Australia, New Zealand, whatever, that's where you reside, you should not be on the voters registration list.
And lawyer Heidi Badenoch, commenting on whether parties are adhering to the provisions of the Act, says while education of voters is necessary, persons also need to raise their standards and expect more from politicians.
If we as a people, and we need to stop thinking that politicians are responsible for our actions. We as a people ought to demand more, and we ought to start refusing these types of advances. If we tell the politicians, no, my vote is not worth XYZ, then at the end of the day, if enough of us, say these things, then the politicians would have to start to do better. But if we continue to accept these low standards, then obviously the moral fabric of our society is going to continue to break down. We as a country, and a country with a future, we will continue to be at a disadvantage.
An 8-member group representing the Caribbean community CARICOM is now in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to observe the December 9th general elections. The group arrived here over the weekend period and is headed by Gaspar Batiste, Chief Elections Officer of St. Lucia. The other members of the group include 2 members of staff from the CARICOM Secretariat and the following representatives from the CARICOM member states: Antigua and Barbuda, Karen Mawaran; Barbados, Larry Smith; Bahamas, Sherilyn Hall; Jamaica, Coydette Green; and Trinidad and Tobago's Pamela Auguste. Speaking at a press conference earlier today, Chief of the Mission Gaspar Batiste told reporters that the observer mission is pleased to sustain and fortify the democratic course in SVG, and adds that the group is pleased to be a part of this a very important happening in the country's political history.
The mission will meet with the Senator, Julian Francis, General Secretary of the Unity Labour Party, as well as the Leader of the Opposition, the Honorable Aaron Eustace, Ms. Anesia Baptiste, Leader of the Democratic Republican Party, and other civil society and private sector representatives ahead of Wednesday's poll. On the day of the elections, the group will monitor activities including the opening of the poll, voting, closing of the poll, and tallying of the ballots in 14 of the 15 constituencies. The following day, the mission will issue a preliminary statement based on its observations, to be followed later by a full report to His Excellency Erwin Larocque, Secretary General of CARICOM. The CARICOM Observer Mission is happy for the opportunity to support and strengthen the democratic process in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and appreciates the high level of support and cooperation received since our arrival in the country.
In court news, Jeremy Jordan, an 18-year-old laborer of Ashton Union, was this morning sentenced to a jail term of 6 months, suspended for 1 year on a charge of burglary. The sentence was handed down by Senior Magistrate Carla James when he appeared at the Kingstown Magistrates Court and entered a guilty plea. Jordan is accused of entering the business place of Judith Adams between November 21st and 22nd this year and stealing a number of items totaling $1,191. Ms. Adams is said to have secured her business place on the evening of November 21st and went to her home, and upon returning there the following morning, she discovered that the place was broken into. The matter was reported to the police, and their investigations led them to Jordan, which resulted in his arrest. Meanwhile, Lenny Batiste, a resident of Camden Park, is now before the court on a charge of unlawful and malicious wounding, which is said to have occurred at New Montrose on Reuben Wayne of the same address on December 4th, 2015. Batiste is said to have inflicted a cutlass wound to the face of Reuben Wayne during an altercation between both men on the date in question. Batiste was on Monday, December 7th, today, brought before Senior Magistrate Carla James and maintained his innocence. Court prosecutor Elgin Richards had no objection to his bail, which was allowed in the sum of $2,500 with one surety. December 21st this year is the date set for trial.